Hello students, I hope you all are fine and healthy. We are revising chapter number first, matter in our surroundings. In our previous video, we read about the matter, characteristics of matter, and what are the different forms of matter and what are their properties. So today we will revise the rest part of our chapter. So we will revise it with the help of questions. So our first question is, what do you understand by latent heat and what are the two types of latent heat? Now the word latent means hidden. So latent heat means hidden heat. Now the heat that is supplied to any substance for the change in its state without rise in the temperature, that is known as the latent heat. So whatever be the heat that is supplied when any substance is changing its state, but this heat does not rises the temperature of the object even when we are continuously supplying the heat. Now there are two types of latent heat, that is latent heat of fusion and the second is latent heat of vaporization. So when a solid changes into a liquid, then the latent heat that is provided to convert it from solid to liquid at its melting point without rising its temperature, that heat is known as latent heat of fusion. Now the latent heat that is provided for changing a liquid into a gas at its boiling point without the rise in temperature, that heat is known as the latent heat of vaporization. Now our next question is, why is heat energy needed to melt a solid and what is this heat energy called? Now whenever we want to melt a solid, so we know that there are strong forces of attraction between the particles of solid. Now to make it a liquid, this force of attraction has to be broken. So the heat is supplied to a solid whenever we want to melt it, so that the force of attraction between its particle, it can be broken or it can be reduced. So whenever we supply the heat, the kinetic energy of the particles of the solid increases and they starts moving rapidly, and when they starts moving rapidly at a certain temperature, the heat becomes very large and the kinetic energy increases to a large extent, due to which the force of attraction is overcome and the solid converts into a liquid. Now this heat energy that is supplied to melt a solid, that is known as latent heat of fusion. Now our next question is, why does the temperature remain constant during the melting of ice even though heat is supplied continuously? We know that the ice starts converting into water at 0 degrees Celsius. So when we supply the heat to ice at 0 degrees Celsius, so that heat is used to overcome the force of attraction between the particles of ice. So that's why that heat does not rises the temperature of the ice even when we are continuously supplying the heat. Now the next question, why does the temperature remain constant during the boiling of water even though heat is supplied constantly? Now in this case also, the heat that is supplied during the boiling of water, that is used to overcome the force of attraction between the particles of liquid water. So that's why it does not increases the temperature. Our next question is, explain why ice at 0 degrees Celsius is more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature. Now we know that ice is the solid form of water. So the ice will absorb more heat because first of all the ice has to absorb the latent heat to convert into the liquid water, because it has to change its state. So it will first of all absorb the latent heat, then it will convert into the liquid water at 0 degrees Celsius. After that it will absorb more heat, and then the temperature of that liquid water will increase. Whereas if we are taking liquid water directly, so when it will absorb the heat, its temperature will increase. But this ice, it will absorb more heat, that is the latent heat. Now our next question is, why does steam cause more severe burns than boiling water? Now the steam is the vapor form, or we can say the gaseous form of water, whereas the boiling water, it is liquid water. Now since the gas form of water, it has absorbed the latent heat for converting into the gas form, that's why it causes more severe burn, because in comparison to the boiling water, the gas form or the steam, it contains more heat in the form of latent heat. Now our next question is, which contains more heat, 1 kg of ice at 0 degrees Celsius or 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius? Give reason for your answer. Now since it is given 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius, it means it is the liquid water, whereas this ice, that is at 0 degrees Celsius, it is the solid form of water. Now this liquid water contains more heat in the form of latent heat. So the 1 kg of water at 0 degrees Celsius, it is having more heat in comparison to the ice that is at 0 degrees Celsius. Now our next question is, which produces more severe burns, boiling water or steam? Why? We have discussed this question here also. The boiling water or steam, the steam will cause more severe burns, because the steam contains the latent heat that is absorbed by the liquid water when it converts into the steam, that is latent heat of vaporization. Now our next question is, define melting point of a substance. Now the melting point of a substance means the temperature at which a solid converts into a liquid, that is known as the melting point of a substance. Like for example, the ice converts into liquid water at 0 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of ice. Now our next question is, define boiling point of a substance. Now the boiling point of a substance means the temperature at which a liquid converts into its gaseous form or vapor form, that is known as the boiling point of a substance. Like the liquid water converts into water vapors at 100 degrees Celsius. So 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of a water. Now our next question is, define condensation. We have read this condensation many times in 6th, 7th class also. Condensation means whenever a gas converts into liquid, that is known as condensation. Like in the water cycle, the water vapors converts into tiny droplets of water, that is known as the condensation. So whenever any gas loses heat, so it converts into the liquid form. Our next question is, explain why naphthalene balls kept in stored clothes in our homes disappear over a period of time. Now the naphthalene balls disappear over a period of time due to sublimation. We know that sublimation means whenever any solid converts directly into gaseous form. So the naphthalene substance, it undergoes sublimation, means it directly converts from the solid form to the gaseous form. That's why after some time the naphthalene balls disappear. Now our next question is, explain briefly how gases can be liquefied. Now liquefied means that converting the gases into the liquid form. So the gases can be liquefied when we will increase the pressure on them and we will decrease their temperature. Because when we will compress the gas or we will increase the pressure on the gas, so the particles of the gas will come closer. Now when the particles will come closer to each other, some of the heat is produced. Now we remove the heat from the particles by cooling it. So when those particles gets cooled, they gets converted into the liquid form. Now our next question is, how does sweating help keep our body cool on a hot day? When our body sweats on a hot day, then that sweat gets evaporated from the body. Now for the evaporation of the sweat, it is converting from the liquid form to the gaseous form. Now for this it needs latent heat. So that sweat absorbs the latent heat of vaporization from our body, and when it gets evaporated we feel cool. So due to the absorption of latent heat from our body, we feel cool. Now our next question is, why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day? Now when the day is hot, it means the temperature is dry, and dry day means the water vapors or the moisture in the air is very low, or we can also say that the humidity on that day is very low. Now when the temperature is high, so it will increase the rate of evaporation of water, and since the humidity is low, so it will also increase the rate of evaporation because more water vapors can be added to the air. So the hot dry day, it increases the rate of evaporation. That's why the desert cooler cools better on the hot dry day. Now our next question is, how will you demonstrate that water vapors is present in air? Now we can easily demonstrate that water vapors are present in the air. For that we will take a glass and then we will pour some chilled water in that glass. Now we will keep the glass outside for some time. So after some time we will see that the outer surface of the glass, it will have water droplets in it. So these water droplets that are on the outer surface, they have came by the condensation of water vapors that are present in the air. So in this way we can demonstrate the presence of water vapors in air. Now the next question is, why we are able to sip hot tea or milk faster from a saucer rather than from a cup? Now if we will compare a cup and a saucer, the saucer is having a large area, or we can say its surface area is large, or the saucer is wide in shape. So when the saucer is wide in area, so more tea or more milk can be evaporated easily, or we can say that the rate of evaporation of milk or tea will be faster as compared to the rate of evaporation of milk or tea from the cup. Now when more tea or milk will be evaporated at a fast rate, so for that it will start absorbing the latent heat from the remaining tea or the milk in the saucer. So that's why the tea will get cool or the milk will get cool faster. Now our next question is, why does our palm feel cold when we put some acetone or perfume on it? Now the perfume or the acetone, they are liquids. Now these both liquids are having very low boiling point. Now when we pour them on our skin, so they converts into the vapors. Now for converting into the vapors, they require latent heat because that is a change of state. Now when they convert into vapors, so they absorb the required latent heat from our palm, and that's why our palm feels cold. Our next question is, what type of clothes should we wear in summer? Why? Now during the summers we should wear cotton clothes. In the summer our body sweats a lot. Now the cotton is a good absorber of water, so it quickly absorbs the sweat and it exposes that sweat to the air, due to which it starts evaporating, and the faster evaporation takes place, due to which we feel cool. So we should always wear the cotton clothes during the summer so that the rate of evaporation remains faster. Now if we will wear synthetic clothes, so the synthetic clothes do not absorb water very quickly. They take a long time, or even some of the synthetic clothes don't absorb the water at all. So in those clothes you will feel wet, or the sweat will not be evaporated. So that's it students. Now we will revise our next topics in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Take care.